Hello everyone, today we'll talk about entities and try to answer the questions. What are entities and why are they used in the dialogue system? First, I will tell about me. I am an NLP developer at CPQD and I'm from studying in natural language processing in University of Campinas. And my interests involve at the several areas of artificial intelligence. So let's start it. So what are entities and why need you know about this? An entity or named entity can be any word or series of words. This representation with a word object. This object can be abstract or have a physical existence, such as a person, localization, organization, etc. And entities is a part of information extraction task, where the goal is to location and classify in the predetermined groups the objects in the task. For example, in the sentence, Alan Turing was born on 20 June in 1912. Alan Turing could be considered a person entity belonging to the person group, and 20 June could be considered a date entity belonging to the date group. In the second example, in this sentence, Washington is a studying at the University of Washington in Seattle, Washington. Here, there are a lot of words Washington. So Washington at the beginning of the sentence is a person type entity. Next is a organization. And finally is referred to a localization. So this is a great advantage of the entities. You can have the same word in the sentence, but the entity can indicate it for each word what group she's belonging to. It is amazing. It's a very important in task of natural language processing. Okay, but what has to do with the dialogue system? What use in dialogue system? Let's look at the example. Here, have a traditional conversation without entity extraction. Okay. So first, the chatbot asks you, "How can I help?" And the user say, "Hi, I need a reservation for force on August at the 17 at 6 p.m." And the dialogue system identify the intention of the user, that is, make a reservation, okay? And she asked for the information to the task, what day, what time. But see that the user has already provided all information in the first message. You do not need to repeat this. So we can see the dialogue becomes so tired. In the next example, with the extraction of entities, the chatbot asks how can I help you? The user provides all information exactly how the first example, but see that now the dialogue system identify intention, of course, and the word for is related to the quantity, and the 76 p.m. at related to the group date time. When this extraction, the chatbot could just ask to confirm this information and follow up the dialogue. We can see the dialogue become more natural and smart. This is under the main contributions for the entities in dialogue system. Okay, we know what entities are their importance in dialogue system, but now you need to know what supply normally used from entities in dialogue system. The first approach is really basic. It's possible to use rules for entity extraction. Normally, the user can define their own rules and their specific entities. Within this group, we have a dictionary-based entities. Basically, it's a list of synonyms for the type of entity. Already regex and the pattern base, you must define a pattern or regular expression for an entity type. For example, also you want to extract an email entity, a pattern would be this. Or if you want to extract the telephone entity, we can use these regex. And we also have a context-based approach. Usually the entities are learned by machine learning models. In dialogue system, it's common to find a model trained for a specific group of entities, such as a person, localization, organization, etc. And depending of the provider of the dialogue system, it's possible to train an entity model with custom sentence. Now, about a machine learning model for entities, there is extensive research in the study of name change recognition, and I will present the main architecture they are studying. We have the most traditional architectures. In this case, feature engineering is a very essential. Words are representation by one or more Boolean values. Thus, these values describe the morphology of words. Many studies also use part of speak and the knowledge based. Based off this research, it's possible to use traditional models such as SVM, hidden Markov model, and CRF model. CRF the most used for entities. For deep learning model, in the other hand, have many variations. In the short, they use order level embedding, character level embedding, LCTM to encoder of context, and CRF to make the classification of tokens or decoder of tags. It's also common to see ELMO and BLSTEM and CRF. And recently used the power of the training model, it's common to use a BERT as a word encoder and a linear layer in the top of BERT to classify each token in the identity group. So that is, I hope you enjoyed. Any question, I will be happy to help.